Wonderful Ethiopians of the Ancient Kushite Empire by Drusilla Dungy Houston. Preface. The Origin of Civilization. The minds of men today are stirred with eager questionings about the origin of civilization, and about the part the different races of mankind played in its development from primitive ages. The remains that archaeologists are uncovering in Egypt, Old Babylonia, and South America reveal that there were significant factors in the first development of the arts and sciences that history has failed to make clear. Scientists are busy today studying the types of those old civilizations and comparing them with those of the present. Our modern systems do not function for the masses, to give them development and happiness as did some of the ancient cultures. Books upon the early life of man are very hard to secure. Few have been written that are authentic, because it requires technical skill to assemble and condense such matter. Exhaustive research work is necessary to secure this kind of information, with only a line here and there in modern books, to help the reader to reach definite conclusions. Only the trained mind holds the multitude of details and possesses the ability to impartially weigh and classify the facts that prove the influence of the races upon the civilization of today. The quest for the innumerable and startling facts of the succeeding volumes arose, much as did the motive of Schliemann, to seek the buried ruins of Troy, from the oft-repeated expression found by the author in research work, that what the ancients said about the Ethiopians was fabulous. Curiosity was aroused to go back over the story of the ancients to agree or draw new conclusions. The finds were so astonishing that the vow was made to spend upon this study many years if necessary. Like the quest of the Holy Grail, the aim became sacred, for the trail led backward into the heart of all that the world holds most precious, and to the primal roots from which all culture sprang.
Stop right there. It's a black light. Black light. And the computer, that's a computer reading from a book written by a black woman around the time of 1927. Her name was Drusilla Dungy Houston, an anthropologist among other skills and qualifications that she obtained to write this book. And I chose this sister here because she's a black woman, and evidently she went through the pains and efforts to present this type of knowledge. You don't hear Caucasians speak of her. You don't hear too many your black scholars speak of her. But a lot of her information coincides with the teachings of Master Fard Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And when you get into the book, you know, they don't have this book at your libraries. I got this book at the Shrine of the Black Madonna. At one time up here in Detroit, the Muslims had several bookstores that were equal to the Shrine of the Black Madonna. They had the Lighthouse, and they had a brother from Africa. He had a book. I forgot the name of his book. His establishment. But today, in the organization that they call the Nation of Islam, that is ran by Minister Farrakhan, you got a brother by the name of Wesley Muhammad. And I give that brother praise because he knows how to research. And he is a scholar. And I first seen him on Sinetta in one of the debates that they had. And the brother ran rings around the brother that he was debating. And I've been researching for many years, and I find that the brother to be authentic in his, comparing his information with my information. So, my last words was interrupted, and I lost my train of thought. So I'm just going to get right to the point I'm trying to make, is that I'm trying to show you that our culture is rooted. When I say our culture, not the American culture, the black man's culture, is rooted in a highly advanced civilization that goes back endlessly. And the rulers were actually scientists. And these scientists had supreme knowledge of the planet, the universe itself. And they believed in a divine intelligence. And this intelligence prescribed and made laws. Actually, that was the will of the intelligence, divine intelligence, for the inheritors, for its inheritance to follow or to go by. And they always were seeking knowledge, because they wanted to reach a state of perfection. And then they found out that in doing so, it was timeless and endless pursuit to do so. So when the Caucasian, we made the Caucasian, his role was to be our antagonist, our competitor. And he's becoming so good at it that he keeps rocking us back to sleep. So it's a struggle for us now in these modern times to understand really what I'm talking about. But it's nothing new under the sun. We had this type of technology even better millions of years ago. The Caucasian is waking up to this fact. So he's trying to discredit us, discredit the black man. So you got people like Poppy, people like Coffee and Kush, what's his name, Kevin Gill, other people, Polite, that works for our antagonists. Don't know what the hell they're talking about. They could talk good because they know that the majority of the people go by how their appearance, how you dress, how deep is your pockets, the material things that you display, chains and fancy cars or whatever. They go by that. They think that's intelligent. They don't never go by the actions. What's the result that you After you get through talking, what is the result? So now I got this book. Let's look at it. Can't see it. Let's turn on the light. I got this book. So now you know I'm just not talking. Another book is Stolen Legacy. We're going to get into that a little later. All these books backs up the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad calls his teachings Islam. And he tells us not to follow the teachings of those foreign-born so-called Muslims. Our teachings are the original teachings. And he calls it Islam. You know. But the foreign-born Muslims is sitting on top of the land that possesses all the minerals and oils and whatever. But they're not sitting on top of that knowledge. They refuse to bow down to the black man. So when you go over in Kemet, you see, when you go over in Egypt nowadays, you see the Arab, the pale Arab, over the Nubians. You know. So you always see the people of the land in the background. Same here. The people of the land was called the so-called Indians. You don't see them up front. You see them, you hardly see them at all, but they're in the background. And are blending in this kind of society, playing the bottom, on the bottom row. They're not top shelf, they're bottom shelf. So we're going to break all this stuff up if you're willing to deal with it. Next video, we're going to get back to this little history later on, but the next video, we're going to show you Epstein, Trump, Clinton. This is who you got in your political structure leading you. This is why it's called the United Snakes of America. Right now, snakes are eating snakes. And we're going to cover that. Why ain't a Poppy and all them talking about this right here? We'll see. Black light.